This week on What's Good Cape Cod, we honor a local DY legend, a staycation in an iconic cottage, and meet the volunteers who are helping our neighbors age in place. I'm Sarah Lapsley Martin.
And I'm Katie Clancy. Welcome back to What's Good Cape Cod, where we show you the Cape through the eyes of a couple of locals.
Every Tuesday, we drop a new video that tells you about a person, place, and thing we think you should know about.
And our person this week is Jenks. So if you have been in the Dennis Yarmouth area for any amount of time, that name will ring a bell, particularly if you or someone you know is or was in the DY school system. So Jenks, and he passed away suddenly but peacefully in March. It was really sad. I mean, It's always sad when someone passes away, but he was someone who meant a lot to a lot of people. He also happened to be my neighbor, lived right across the street from me, and his daughter and I would have our kids play together and sit out at the bus stop and whatnot. And his wife, Brenda, is amazing, and I love her. We see each other walking all the time. But Ken was kind of a DY legend, and he came to DY in 1984 when I was a freshman in high school, and he was never my teacher. But I looked at, when he passed away kind of unexpectedly. Of course, it was a shock to everyone, and people wanted to respond. So one of the responses that I thought was really telling and moving was, so Alex Pendleton, who is the band director there, talk about a legend. He's going to have to be on another show. But he just went on and on about how awesome, what a big impact Ken, Mr. Jenks, had on his life. He's actually the reason that Alex and his wife Lisa met. He gives Ken credit for that. But also just like creating like a safe place to be in school. High school's hard, right? Like
you were saying that his classroom was where everyone loved to hang out.
Yep, everyone to hang out in Jenks' room.
Yeah.
And if you got to have like a cubby in his room, like that was the cool thing. And Alex talked a lot about that. And so this is one of the things that Alex said. If it wasn't for, it's just going to make me cry, but because teachers are all that. If it wasn't for a teacher like Jenks, who was so kind and compassionate to his students, Amanda and he would have never made that student-teacher connection and invited him to her wedding. I might have never known about the job opening. We might not have had Alex Pendleton at our school, okay?
Wow.
I might not have known about the job opening, hence never moved back, married Lisa, etc. Maybe that's a long shot, but I've always felt like he was the catalyst to make that happen. And I'm so thankful knowing that I had the chance to tell him the story on many occasions and express my thanks before it was too late. So he goes on to say a lot more really nice things, but I can't handle it anymore. So we're going to leave it there. But if you have seen the school buses since March, and DY have a wreath in his memory on all the buses with KJ and the dolphin. I just think that's awesome. And if Mr. Jenks had an impact on you, or if I made you cry, which I hope I did, if you want to make a gesture, they're accepting memorial donations to the DY Dolphin Fund. And I know one of the things that the Dolphin Fund does is help defray costs for kids who want to participate in sports or other things that, there's just barriers in their way. And that fund helps with a lot of different things. So sorry to be a downer, but I just,
it's good to honor him. This is great.
Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that, that everybody, all of our listeners understood that we have these legends here in our community and that we should be so grateful. So whew! All right, let's move on. Let's move on to our place. Oh, this is so much more fun than crying.
So
Sarah, tell us about our place.
So our place is a nice staycation at the Larkspur. So I just went on a staycation recently, which I hadn't been on vacation in ever. And the only negative was I only spent one night. I wish I could have spent longer, but busy times. So the Larkspur is part of the Days Cottages. And the Days Cottages, they're the white and teal cottages in Truro with the flower names. They're iconic. I mean, they're known, they're in paintings, they're in photographs, they're in films. They're literally known worldwide.
Yep.
And growing up as kids, we would we would drive by them. We'd go to P-Town, a few times during the summer, and our dog's name was Daisy. So we always would dream about someday staying there, and life went on, and I still had that dream. And they're just if you don't know what they look like, I mean, you must be living under a rock, but they're literally like little cottages with the teal shutters, and they're right on the water. So, I mean, they're just beautiful.
You could never build them today.
No, you would never be allowed to do that. And they've been there since 1931, and there's 22 in total. This is their 90-year anniversary, which is amazing that they've withheld, that timeline. And the thing that was, I actually wish I bought one. No, obviously you always say that, but they were put on, so they were owned by the Days family since 1931. And then a few years ago, they were put on the market. So they were put on the market that you could buy them individually, and they were around like $400,000, I read. I know.
Can you imagine?
I'm kicking myself, Anyways, so 22 lucky people have bought these. They're set up as condos, but so they're all individually owned right now. I got to stay in the Larkspur. So the Larkspur, I came across it. They have an amazing Instagram. And that's where I saw that you could rent it. It was like an Airbnb. Daniela, who lives off Cape, and her husband, Joe, they own it. They're amazing hosts. They've updated the cottage. So, everything outside, they're still how they were, which is great because they have to look like
they kind of have to be. You can't go messing with that.
But the inside, when you go in, they're amazing. So this one's so cute. They're 450 square feet. So Danielle and her husband, they really used like every little inch. There's like, little hooks here or little drawers here, and the pull-out couch. There's 2 bedrooms. And then they had the pull-out couch in the living room, a huge table, and everything just fit perfectly in there. They're also really cute. She must love the color teal because there's like a teal coffee pot and like the retro teal microwave and the spoons. And it's just really cute and matchy, which I really liked. And then, this was awesome. So one of the cool things that they do as hosts, they have like a wine fridge. So they're like, you can have the first bottle of wine, like is on them. And if you decided you want another bottle in your stay, you just put like $20 in the wine jar. So It was nice when we got up there, and we didn't have anything to drink at first. So we had a bottle of wine. We sat in these beautiful Adirondack chairs right on the beach. It was a gorgeous day, which was, thank goodness. So that was nice. And it was just so cool to stay in that iconic place. And
did you feel like you were actually on vacation?
Yeah. And you could see the P-Town monument in the distance. The sunset was amazing. And then one of the coolest things, so we needed something. And so there's a little market right across the street. It's Days Market and Deli. Delicious food. There's wine, household goods, just a cute little market, which was literally right across the street, which I loved. And then it was so nice because we went into Provincetown, and, we don't get up there that often because, it's not that close. So it was so great that we could go to Provincetown for the day. We walked around. We went out to dinner at Max, which was delicious. And then, coming home and just being able to stay there overnight. And we actually went back into Provincetown the next day, and we went to the canteen, and we did some more walking around and shopping. But just such an amazing experience to stay in one of these iconic places.
That is so cool. I'm so glad you did that. That's one of the things I love about you, Sarah. You're like, we're going to do a thing. Let's go do the thing right now. And you just do it.
I had to reschedule, of course, because life, but I was so excited to finally do it. And, and then if you follow her on Instagram, they actually just bought another little rental house on the water, in Provincetown. They're doing dog friendly. It's called the Penguin Cottage. So they just bought it. It's right on the main strip right there, right on the water. Yeah. So they're just really cute, and it was just so fun to stay in.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you shared that with us. I hope
you got to try it.
Good. All right. So that's our place. Our thing is this week is an organization called Bay to Sound Neighbors.
Yes.
And it's modeled after another organization locally called Nauset Neighbors. And they both have the similar mission, which is to help our neighbors age in place. So as you may or may not know, Barnstable County is the 3rd oldest county in the United States. A lot of people come here to retire because why not? It's so peaceful and beautiful, and the nature and the art and all the good stuff here. It's a lovely place, and we have one of the best cardiac care units in the country. So
Which
like,
helps.
why not?
Yep.
But with retirement, comes time and age and medical issues, and just, your body can't do the things it used to be able to do. And most of us really want to stay in our homes as long as we can. And in order to do some of the first things, like you and I deal all the time with people who are downsizing.
Yeah.
People calling us that the house is too much. It's too much space. I can't keep up with the yard. Yeah, exactly. So actually, come to think of it, Beta Sound Neighbors is going to put us out of business. You know why? Keeping people in their houses, but it's great. I hope that they're super successful at that. Yeah. Actually, my business partner, Jeff, was one of the organizers of the Beta Sound, so the Dennis Yarmouth version so Nauset Neighbors is on the Lower Cape, and the Beta Sound is the Dennis and Yarmouth version. But they'll do everything from, let me just read the little list here. It offers members an array of services that include transportation, light home and garden chores, and friendly visits, which I think is like we talk about loneliness as one of the biggest killers. It's just friendly, just someone wants to come and chat. That's all. They just want some company. A lot of people have lost their spouse and their kids are far flung, and just someone to chat with. That's
an amazing service. I've never heard of this.
Isn't it? Like, and I'm looking on the website right now, and I'm looking at the volunteer button, like in my spare time. You don't have spare time, but maybe I would find some, because I really like, and I guess during during COVID, they had to get very resourceful. They had to actually kind of shut down for a little bit, because really, if we really want to take care of your neighbors, you got to keep them healthy.
Right.
But it looks like these guys in Nauset Neighbors are, ramping back up, getting back out there and taking care of people. So if you guys want to, if you're listening and you would like some help, or someone who would like some help or some company, go to their website at betasoundneighbors.org. And it's very easy to navigate. They've got a newsletter. If you're not ready to get involved right away, just kind of get to know them. Yeah. But I would love to support them in any way that we can.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think that's it then. So now that is it. Now you know what's good Cape Cod. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and get that bell so you know when we drop a new episode.
And if you're looking for more information about anything we talked about in this video, go to whatsgoodcc.com, where we have links to everything that we talked about this week.